See here. So we just had a demonstration on FDM, right? Or else we don't anything in that workbench or weblog.
When did you have FDM? We didn't start it yet.
So sir, we did demonstration on FDM, like importing, validating, exporting and check.
Was I there for the session or no?
Yeah, you only
You had yeah, we just had what we had was just introduction to the
FDM.
FDM, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it? That's only I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So introduction to FDM, demonstration about that product. So
No, we didn't do any demonstration.
Practically, right? You mean to say?
Yeah, practically we didn't go there because you wanted to wait for them to join.
Yeah, I just give you the PowerPoint presentation, isn't it?
Correct,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, yeah, okay. So today I am going to introduce you practically about that product, like FDM, what we are going to do. So how many clients we have, so in each client what we can do, so why we go for other clients, these things we discuss.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think today I am going to compare this FDM part. Okay. So it depends. Okay. The first thing, how many clients we have? One is workbench client, and the second one is weblog one. Okay. So using workbench client, what are the things we are going to do? See now. So we can do using workbench, like creating the application. So what is application? FDM application. And yeah. So I introduced you about the adapter concept, right? What it does? So it has the capability of building the connection between FDM application to other IPN applications. So creating the FDM application and importing the adapter, register the adapter, configuring the adapter using DCOM user. Once again, Prasad. Yeah. And finally, we are going to add the mission profile. Adding the mission profile is nothing but we are going to give the servers information. Okay. So what is the source, server, and target? So these are the things we are going to do in the workbench. And what are the things we can do using Weblog on? We'll discuss later after completing this workbench client task. Okay. So now I'm going to. Just give me a second. I'll connect to another server. So what is the navigation path to access workbench client? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. To access the workbench client, let's go to start. So we can see a workbench client, or else let's go to all programs, Oracle EPM, FDQM, workbench, and say workbench client. Okay. So this is the navigation path to access workbench client. So here we can see the applications what we have created, and if you would like to create a new application in FDM, we can go with this new application. And if you would like to modify the existing application, we can go with this add application. Okay. Please be mute, sir. I'm getting echo. Okay. So click on new application. I'm going to create a new application here. So give the credentials and say okay. Yeah. So now see, while creating the FDM application, these are the things we need to give. So these are the requirements we have to assign for that FDM application. See here, the name is nothing but the name of the application. So I am giving simple, and the description would be like FDM application, and the application path is same for all the applications in FDM. Okay, so please note it down this navigation path for accessing that particular navigation. So Oracle middleware, EPM system, products, FDQ. Okay, so what is the navigation bar? C, Oracle, EPM system, products, FDM. Okay, so the application group would be default application group. Okay, so these are things we need to give under general tab. So coming to this database, so I have SQL 2005. So I have selected SQL OLEDB, and the database server would be like the name of the computer name or the server I am using probably. So the server here I am giving with server 06, and the database name would be I am giving the same of the application name, simple, and the username and password for the database is SA and password is password. Okay, so these are the things we need to give while creating the FDM application. Okay, just say okay now. It will take some time to create that application.
So configure OLEDB provider.
Yeah. So we have to give the the database accessing mode here while creating the FDM application. So what's the difference between creating the application, of HFM and FDM means we no need to give the database name, or else we no need to create the database for HFM application. So it itself creates the database for that particular application like relational database. But for this FDM, we need to create the database for that particular application. ఏం చేస్తున్నారు మామూలుగా నాకేమో నేను ఏమన్నా టేక్ సమ్ టైం కదా Yeah. So application successfully created. So we have created simple application in FDM now. Say okay. So we are going to log on into that application now through Workbench client. So what are the things we had discussed in the notepad, like importing the adapter, registering that adapter, configuring. So we'll discuss in this Workbench client. So just log on into this application now. Say okay. See, so this is the window of Workbench client. Okay, so go to File to import the adapter by clicking on that import option over there. So just click on import. So actually we are getting these adapters from edelivery.com. So we'll be having the name of that adapter like Financial Data Quality Management Adapter for Financial Management. Okay. So for HFM, these are the adapters, right? So we have to download and we have to extract that file in this navigation path. Okay. So we have to extract that file in this navigation shared components. Okay. Yeah. So now we have two adapters, Prasad. So for one is for generic HFM application and the second one is for ICP application. Okay. So now I am going with generic application. So generic application would be like 11x FM 11x G5e and ICP application would be like FM 11i G5e. Okay. So the format of this import adapters will be in .xml. Okay. So just select the generic application adapter to build a connection with generic HFM applications. Okay. So now we are going to selecting all of that particular adapter and say okay now. See. So what are the things we have imported? You can see here. See FM 11x G5e IP rate financial management. So what are the things we have imported? We can see here. So we have imported, so that adapter has dimensions, dimension labels, attribute dimensions, actions would be like, see. So these are comes under like the tasks of HFM like exporting, loading, validating like that. So we're not going to use these actions task for this FDM. And mission profile. Mission profile is nothing but what are the servers probably using for source and target. And we have options here for that particular adapter. Okay. Just minimize this. Yeah. So now I'm going to register this adapter. So what is that adapter? Click on registered adapter. We have imported FM11x G5e. So to import, we have already imported. To register that, we have to select .dll file. So open this financial data management folder, FM11x, adapter components, again FDM FM11x. See here, the first one what we have like FDM FM11x G5e.dll. Select this and say open it. Right? So we have registered that adapter successfully. Now I am going to configure that adapter using DCOM credentials. To configure that, just right click on that adapter and say configure. So give the credentials like the DCOM credentials like admin and the welcome account, whatever you have created, the DCOM user credentials you have to give here. And say OK. Right. So we have configured that adapter successfully. Now I am going to add the mission profile like source mission profile and target mission profile. So right click on that mission profile and say add mission profile. So it shows us the window like what is the source mission and target mission. Source mission is nothing but the FDM application server like server name, and the target mission is nothing but, so I am going to connect with the HFM application. I have created that application in HIP server 02. So I am going to give HIP server 02. Okay. So I don't want to maintain separate, I mean a different server, so I am giving the same server. So in every applications, so we are maintaining two servers probably. Yeah. HIP server 02, HIP server 02, and say OK now. No need to give these credentials, just say OK. Right. So I have created, I have added the mission profile for CV. Okay. HIP server 02. That's it. So what are the things we have to do in Workbench client we have done? Do you have any questions? And
the machine profile, if you have different machines, then you give a same just a name, correct?
Yes.
And if it's the same server, let's say if it is in the same system, then you just give the same name of the
Yeah.
machines.
And we have here reports tab, right? If you like to import the reports templates, we can directly import these report templates into this application. So just click on the reports tab and say file import. So we are going to import the reports templates. We will be having report templates here. See here, financial data management reports 11.121. Open it. So what is the database we are probably using in this mission? So I am using SQL. So select the SQL and say open it. Right? So select all and say OK. So I am going to import all the reports, all the types of reports for this application. Right? So we can see all the reports when we expand this English tab. See here. So these are the reports we have. Okay. Did you understand how to import the report templates? Okay. So now I am going with WebLogon. So what are the things we can do using WebLogon? We'll discuss. So if you have any doubts in this workbench plan, you can ask me now.
So what we have done in the workbench right now is configure.
We just have created the
Right.
So
we
we
created the
create
application. We also
WebLogon also.
Yeah. Okay.
And building the connection using the adapter is using workbench. Okay, we're not going to WebLogon to build the connection. Okay, that's the difference. Okay. Can we log on into the WebLogon page? Yeah. So now the navigation path for WebLogon is go to start, the same path, all programs, Oracle EPM, FDQM, web server components, and say WebLogon. Okay, it takes some time. See what we have done using workbench. We have created a new application, imported the adapter, registered the adapter, configuring the adapter, and adding the mission profile. And importing report templates. Okay, these are things we have done. Okay, now in this WebLogon, we are going to do the actual process. The actual process is nothing but how to import the source file into FDM. Before importing, what we have to do in WebLogon FDM, and how we are going to import, how we can invalidate, how we can export. Okay, so before going to do anything in this WebLogon, first we have to select the source file. Okay, we have three sources like Excel sheet, flat files, database. In these sources, I am selecting flat file. Okay, so the input and output for this FDM is in .dat format. Okay, so first we have to select the source, and next check whether that particular POV of flat file has the data or not. It means what is the point of view we have in that .dat file, like flat file. If we select that point of view in financial management application, so if you don't have any data, then we can move with this process. So if you have already the data, so how much data you are going to load, then how much data if we can see after loading that data using FDM, we can analyze. Okay, so first we have to check whether that data is there or not in that particular application. Then the actual process is going on now. So see here, the next thing we are going to create the dimensions what we have in that flat file. So dimensions is nothing but in terms of, we are creating in terms of control table, locations, mapping tables. Okay, control tables is nothing but we are going to create scenario, year, period, value dimension, nothing but currency. Okay, so coming to this locations, so we are creating the locations like entity dimension, and under mapping tables, what are the remaining dimensions we have in the flat file, we are creating under mapping tables. So we are creating remaining dimensions under mapping tables. Okay, so first we have to select the source file. So I am going to select the source file as like this. So the .dat file, in these thousands of transactions, I am just selecting only one transaction. Check it. Okay, so this is the transaction I am going to use as a source file for this FDM. See, okay. So what are the members we have in this flat file? We have to create in terms of control tables, locations, and mapping tables. See what are the dimensions we have to create under control table. Scenario means actual, and year means
So
2004. Isn't it?
yeah.
Period September. Value or currency is nothing but USD. So this is the way to create the control table. Then coming to locations, the entity is nothing but Stanford. Okay, and mapping tables is nothing but what are the remaining dimensions we have, like custom dimensions, ICP or account. All the remaining dimensions we are creating under mapping tables, like what we have account dimension, admin expenses, ICP none, custom 1 to 4. Okay, so this is the way to create the dimensions in FDM. So after creating these dimensions according to the import source file, we have to create one format like import format, which will be the same as the source file. It means, so what is the first dimension we have? So we have the first dimension like scenario. So we have to make this scenario dimension as first. Then next, year dimension. So we should give that sequence number in that import format among 13 members. So how many members we have in that source file? We have 13 members along with that data. So among 13, what is the sequence number for that particular scenario or year or period? Okay. So these things we are going to discuss in import format. Okay. So are you clear so far? What we are going to do? Or else if you want me to repeat, I'll repeat again.
No, it's good. No,
Clear, right? See.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to start from this. So first we have to select the source file. I have already selected. So I'm pasting this file in a notepad and save it as source.dat. Notepad. Paste it and make it as .dat file. So go for save as on the desktop. So FDM, so simple, right? This application simple.dat and here save as type. So we have to take it as all files. Okay. So then it will save in .dat format, right? See here simple.dat. So this is the file of simple application what we have created in FDM. So we have to create these dimensions in FDM now. Yeah. Close this option. See. So what is the application we have created? Simple. And give the credentials like username as admin, password as welcome at one. Log on into that. See, this is the window of WebLogger. So the actual process in FDM is importing the source file, validating that source file against the mapping dimensions what we are creating in FDM in terms of control tables, locations like that. So exporting is nothing but after exporting the source file we can see the data and HFM application because the target application we are going to connecting now. How we can check it? We'll see clearly. So first task in WebLogger is, so we have to check whether that adapter is connected or what is the adapter we have imported for this application is there or not. We have to check using administration tab. So you can select here or you can select here. So under administration tab, select application settings. It shows us the adapter name. So this is the adapter, right? We have imported. So just save and say OK. Okay. Now, so go to the same administration tab and say integration settings. Go to administration, select the integration settings. So what is the application name? So how many applications we have in HFM? We'll see now. Go to start. What are the applications probably? So all programs. First we have to check whether the data is there or not. Then we go for with this FDM process. Connect to that. So I'm creating, I'm opening the Nilesh application over there. Give the credentials. So click on explore data to check whether the data is there or not for that particular point of view. So this is the point of view. So this is the data for July. Check it for August. We have already the data. But see, if you load the data, whether this data will change or not. Okay. Or else what we can do, stamp for it's fine. Go to account dimension. Yeah, we don't have the data for sales. Sales, August, we have to check September, right? See now. Okay, for admin expenses September, we don't have any data. So what is the file? Simple.dat. That is September, right? Yeah. Okay, we can go with this point of view. Okay. So we don't have any data for admin expenses for September month. So while loading this data, so if we have any internal like sales data, it will show us the data what we have loaded. Okay. So I'm going to do the actual process now in FDM. I have checked the data for September admin expenses. We don't have any data for that particular point of view for September. So now open WebLogin, view the application of HFM, right, Nilesh, and say save. The option was saved successfully, say OK. So far we have done right. What is the adapter? Is that adapter has registered or not? And the second thing is, what is the target application name? So we have we are going to connect to the HFM application, right? So what is the application name of HFM? Okay, so we have given those things. Now we'll see whether that Nilesh application has connected to this simple application or not. Okay, to check it, we just go to Activities tab over there and click on Maps. Okay. To retrieve the data of target application, just click on Add over there and double click on under target FM account, say browse for target value. So if we able to see the data, mission profile for is missing. It's over 06. Okay. So what is the reason? The mission profile hasn't added for that application. Just close it. Go to WebLogin. Sorry, Workbench. Yeah, under adapters. Expand this target system adapter. Mission profile added, right? Oh, so this is 06. Sorry, delete it. Now go for add this 6 hours 06 now. everything is fine, say okay now. So now we can get it. Exit. So now go for checking that. So click on activities, maps, add the row, target FM account. See here, right? So we got the target system data now because that mission profile has added successfully. So where we are probably getting the errors means while adding the mission profile and the adapter connection. So if you are not able to register that adapter successfully, we are not able to get the target system data. Okay, so we can able to retrieve the target system data now. So just say cancel. Now I am going to creating the control tables. So to creating the control tables, so just click on metadata out there, and we'll be having the options like locations, input formats, logic groups like that. So we have control tables over here. So just click on control tables. Okay. Just say okay. Right. So what is the period and year we are for which period and year we are going to load the data? So we have to know that. Okay. Just click on add, and so we are going to add the data or load the data for September 2004. To create that, the first digit is the month, and the second one is date, and third one is year. So what is the period? 7. September is 7, right? June, July, August, September. Okay. And the year target would be 2004. Month would be September. Okay. So go for update period now. Want to add it successfully, say okay. So we have created period dimension now. See, September 2004 will comes automatically after updating the row. Okay. So we have created period and year dimension. Now just go to create the categories. Categories is nothing but the scenario dimension, right? So just go for add the row and browse the target. So I am going to creating that actual. So select this actual scenario and create the same thing here. Right. So say update grid. So we have created scenario dimension now. So coming to this currency, so we have to check whether we have the USD currency or not. So we'll be having multiple currencies over there. So what is the thing we can do here in this FDM control tables means, so whether we have that particular currency or not, we have to check. Okay. If we don't have, then we can go ahead with creating that particular currency. See, USD is the default currency or functional currency. So we have that currency, so no need to create again. So now we have created the control tables. Now I'm going to create the locations part. So what is the entity here? We have the entity like Stanford. So before going to create the locations, so we have the point of view present here. So we have to check whether that particular point of view is there or not what we have created right now. We don't have that point of view. So click on any member in that point of view there. I haven't created locations. So go to period, September 2004 have created. Category would be actual. And say okay now. Yeah. So I have changed that. Adapting now. And the total point of view. See. So now I am going to create the locations. To create the locations, we have to select metadata tab. And the metadata will be having locations over there. See here, I am going to create the sibling for this control review. So we have two types of creating these locations, Prasad. One is control review location and the second one is data load location. So I'm going to load the data for that particular entity like Stanford because it's a child for that particular hierarchy. So for loading the data into that particular entity, we have to select data load option over there. So if you are we would like to see only the data what we have loaded at the chains for the particular entities, we have to select control review. See, we have two options. So select data load over there and give the name like Stanford. Okay. So go for OK now. So we have created Stanford entity now. So for this Stanford we have to check whether that currency is there or not. No, we haven't created or we haven't assigned the currency for that particular Stanford. USD. And the load type would be like we have to select SQL. So because we are just loading a simple transaction. A bulk insert is nothing but we have thousands of transactions, we can go ahead with this bulk insert. And depends on the database also, we have to select that load type. Okay. So now go to workflow behavior. In this workflow behavior, so I am just going to create the import format for the time being to load the data. Okay. So so I haven't created the import format. Just click on save by giving that currency option and say OK now. So I have created the locations now for that application, and so we have to give that in that point of view what is the location. So Stanford I have created, say OK. So you have to change in each stage what you have created for that particular application in FDM. Okay. So these are things we have created so far. And coming to mapping tables, so I'll go with this activities and click on maps. Okay, Prasad, so just 5 minutes break. After 5 minutes, I'll be back. Okay, we'll discuss about mapping tables. Okay,
Okay.
okay then. Thank you. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. So far we had discussion about how to create the control tables and the location, right? So now we are going to see about how to creating the mapping tables, like so what are the remaining dimensions we have created, we are going to create under mapping tables. See, what is the navigation path to create the mapping tables means? So we have the tab like activities. So in the tab, just click on maps, we'll be getting this window. Okay. So see here, what are the dimensions we can create under mapping tables? So we can create account dimension, entity, ICP, and 4 custom dimensions. So in these dimensions, we have already created the 80 dimensions, but it comes on the location part to create the hierarchy, like the relation between the entities. So okay, so we can create the entity in locations part as well as under mapping tables. Okay. So now I'm going to create the account dimension member. So what is the account dimension member we have in that source file? So we have to take it. See, the account dimension member we have like admin expenses, browser, admin expenses under target FDM account. Double click on that and say browse for target value. So we have admin expenses here. Select that row and say OK. Right? So we have to create manually here under source FDM account. Say update grid to create source dimension, source account dimension. Say OK. Now create entity. So what is the entity? Go for add and browse for target entity. So the entity would be Stanford, right? So click on Stanford and say OK. And go for create the Stanford manually. Say update grid and go for OK. So we have created entity dimension now. So now what about ICP? So ICP, I think we have ICP none. Go for add. Get the target ICP member. No. And ICP 9 is ICP none is the dimension member we have in the source file. And get this and update this grid. Say OK. And what about the custom dimensions? So we have the custom one dimension as goal balls. Go for add. The target custom one as goal balls. Say OK. Say update grid. So we have to create these mapping tables according to this source file, right? Customer 2, none increases. So 2 more dimensions we have to create. Say update grid. Say OK. And now custom 3 is none. Say add. Target custom 3 as none. Say OK and create the same member. That's it. Say update grid. for OK. Custom 4 as increases. Say OK. Go for update this date. Right. So we have created all the remaining dimension members according to the source file. Now I'm going to create the input format which is suitable with that simple.dat. So otherwise, see, while validating that, so it will be like little bit conflict to export that data. Okay. To create that import format, we have to select metadata tab over there. It's recording, right? Yeah. So for creating the import format, select metadata tab and click on import format. So import format is nothing but what the entity, for which entity you are going to create this format. So I have the entity like Stanford here. Create the Stanford as import format group, and the delimiter would be like semicolon. So what is the operator between the members in that source file? So we have the semicolon, right? So just give the semicolon as a delimiter here. Semicolon, and go for update this import group. And now I'm going to create the input format according to that source file. So here, what are the dimensions we have in the source file? What is the sequence number for each dimension member? So we have to check it. So I'm going to add 8 rows. Okay. So check the dimension members here. So I'm selecting the first row as FM entity dimension. Account. ICP. Custom 1. Custom 2. Custom 3. Custom 4. And one more row we need for the amount. Add the row for amount. Okay. See here the differences between field number and number of fields. So number of fields is nothing but how many members we have in that source file. So we have totally 13 members along with the data. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so along with the data we have 13. Okay, so we have to give 13 for each dimension under number of fields. Okay, now the field number would be what is the sequence of among 13 numbers for the entity dimension. Open the node simple.dat source file. Check it that entity dimension. So the actual is the first sequence number among these 13. 2004 is the second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, Stanford is the fifth among 13. So we have to give 5 as the sequence number or field number for entity. And what about account? So account is the admin expenses right here. Admin expenses would be like 6, 7th position. So give the second, account as a 7, ICP would be 8, custom one 9, 10, 11, 12, and the amount would be 13. Okay. So if you give any wrong field number here, while update this grade, it will show, it will throw the error. Okay, because we have the number of fields like 13, but we have given 40. Okay. So give 13 and say update grid now. Right? So it is processing. So 8 rows added successfully. So we have created import format according to that source file. Right? So now the actual process is going to start, like importing the source file into FDM against the source dimensions what we have created so far, and validating that source file against the dimension members and exporting. Okay. So go to workflow option over there and say last step. So the actual process is going to start now. So click on import. Okay. While when we uploaded that simple.dat. So I am going to upload that file. So please check it whether that period and category is suitable with that point of view or not. Right? So just go to upload the file now. Browse it. So where it's on it's on the desktop. Just say open it. So go for clicking on the import. So we are going to import that source file. Stanford has not. Oh, sorry. So we have created Stanford as a input format, but I haven't given the locations part. So go to metadata tab over there and click on locations and select the Stanford entity. So under workflow behavior, so we have to assign that input format for that particular location. So select Stanford and say save. Okay. Now we can go for importing that source file. Click on last step, upload the file, import it. Right? So import was successful. So this is the way to importing that source file into FDM. Now I am going to validate that source file against the source dimensions what I have created in terms of control tables, locations, and mapping tables. So here the validation also successful. Now I am going to export that source file like simple.dat. So when we exported successfully that file, what is the data we have exporting? We are exporting $22,950. So this is the data we can able to see in that target application like Nilesh when we selected that point of view. Now click on export. Sorry. Click on export here. So it's a processing. The exporting file was successfully created. Now go with the default options here. So just say OK now. Right. So export was successfully. Okay. Now we can able to see that data in the target application by refreshing that application. Okay. So just say refresh here. Okay, it's not responding. So Prasad, do you have any questions in this process?
I think I'm good.
Yeah. So this is the actual process in FDM. So while we are doing practically in the real-time scenarios for loading the data. Okay. So this is about FDM process. So if you have any questions, you can ask me.
A question unrelated to this one. If the data has been imported into FDM, and all the data is there for, let's say, 2010. And what is the best way to get all the data out of the FDM tables? The entire data for 2010, and it comes from maybe 20 to 25 different US and foreign locations.
Mm-hmm. See, the data would be there here, like 150.
Yeah.
Okay. So like this, we are going to import and loading the data using the data management class. Okay. So actually, so the sales has some data, so that's why it's going to consolidate directly. After consolidation is done, we are getting this data. Okay.